In this second segment, we'll look at value conflicts, sexuality, and relationship issues.
Well, I have made a decision, and I'm going to get a divorce. I'm going to leave my husband. I've had it, and I don't want to go through this anymore, and I'm done.
Well, I kind of hate to hear that, but tell me more. What has brought you to this point?
Well, we just aren't happy. I'm not happy. I haven't been happy for a long time, and I just don't want to deal with his temper and his moods, and I want to do something for myself. I have to be happy too sometime.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And there's one part here that I'm not hearing about. What about your kids?
Well, they'll probably be happier if I'm happy.
So you've considered, or you've put some time into thinking how you're going to manage with them? And
Yeah.
their feelings about their dad? Do they feel the same way about him and the struggle in the family as you do?
You know, I don't want to be thinking about everybody else all the time.
Who is the advocate for the child?
Well, I'm their mother, and I'll take good care of them, but I have to be happy. I have to do something with my life.
But is divorce the best way to take care of them?
Gary, you seem to have an agenda. Do you want to give us the bottom line? What was that agenda?
If you think it wasn't obvious enough.
Yeah, I think it was pretty obvious, and I think that really portrayed some of the comments I made earlier about how your own stuff can get into a therapy session and cause it to go off in perhaps the wrong direction. And I don't think I would blame Janice for not coming back to a second session after that, or a future session. That was definitely an imposition, an incorrect imposition of my values.
Well, let's check it out with Janice and see.
I agree. I think that it kind of hurt my feelings, and I think it thwarted me because I was portraying someone who'd struggled with this, and I said I had struggled and I needed to do something for myself, and the very thing that I've struggled with for a while was not what he wanted to hear or would let me say.
Maybe, Gary, we could try something out. Could you be the client? Maybe pick up a few lines, and I'll try just a few lines. Not that it's right or wrong. I'll just try it out with you and try a different way.
I think I've pretty well thought through that as we've been separated for a few months, and I'm feeling a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you know, I want you to know that I really want to support the decision that you want to make, and where I think something I hope I can get across too is I very much would want you to look at how you made the decision. I'd hate to have you come in here 6 months later or a year later, regardless of what decision you made, and say, you know, I wished I had thought about it more or talked more about it. So are there any possible areas that you may be struggling with that we could talk about in here?
Well, I think basically the issue is a communication issue. I just can't seem to get any of my needs met, or very few of my needs met, by my wife. She just seems to, cut me off, and it's just not there for me. She's not a supportive person. She's always complaining about what I do incorrectly. And
where I might go here is I might at least ask you, would you want to get your wife in here? Is that something that is of an interest to you? Do you want to do any more talking about that? You see, and again, I think my key idea is following your lead, finding out, is this something you feel not comfortable with, because you may not feel comfortable with any decision, but at least have you explored the possible consequences of any and all of your choices?
You know, one of the things I wanted to make a comment on, we talk a lot about authenticity in counseling. and the importance of being honest with our clients. And I think what we are discovering with some of the value issues that are so laden and can be so burdensome if you disclose them to the client, I think, is it so much, so is that, is that where we need to be authentic? Is that where we want to be honest? Is that a place where maybe we need to put a hold on what we are feeling and thinking and deal with that someplace else? And is authenticity more about, if you are my client and I'm having a strong reaction to you, the way you are presenting yourself to me, how you deal with me, that maybe I'll let you know how you're affecting me. That may be authenticity that I'm talking about in counseling. But several of you commented on how burdened you felt when your counselor was authentic with you by disclosing, their value.